I would say probably the one that I'm looking at when I look at it and say, you know what, they could pull it off. I think Louisiana could beat Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee is ripe. They're ripe
because you got the injury.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out what you're doing at point guard. Obviously, their defense, but he's the point of the defense. So I'm saying, just because like what Doug said, guys are missing key guys heading into the tournament. You miss Kai Ziegler coming into the tournament. That is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Losing your point guard is a huge thing going into the tournament.
Hey, and they're legit good.
And Louisiana is legit.
Jordan Brown, I don't know if he would have been, he's really McDonald's All-American, but like there's a older dude who's a stud. He's a machine in there. And then they got that Greg Williams Jr. and Terrence Lewis. That's a good team.
They're good. Yeah.
They're
Greg Williams is a legit player.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I look at that and I say, man, you lose your point guard, the point man on your defense.
It's what we used to do this, Jeff. When you were at ESPN, Falika's at Fox now. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about the Rick Barnes factor?
No.
Yeah. I love Rick.
Yeah.
All-time great dude. Okay. But he gets tight in those tournament games, man. He gets tight. For a guy who does yoga and knows how to breathe, he gets tight.
I don't know about that. I just know we know how important guards are in the tournament.
Right.
And when you lose your lead main guy,
You lose your point guard, yeah.
That's hard.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be taking Louisiana just because they're going against Tennessee as much as anything else. Tyler, go ahead. Give me your upset special.
I'm going Utah State over Mizzou. I think Utah passes the ball well. I know they're not really tested, but I could see Mizzou being a little bit vulnerable coming out early. I like the job that Dennis Gates has done this year. He's done a good job. Strength of schedule a little early on. I talked a little smack about it, but the team has grown. But I don't know. Utah State, I think, is a little bit under the radar, and I think they play well as a team. Could come out and shock Missouri.
Tyler hates Missouri too. Just let it be known. Let it be
What are you
known.
talking about? That was his school growing up. You didn't listen to my podcast with him.
Well, but now he hates Missouri.
T-Bone wanted to go to Mizzou.
That is true. They got a little bit of trouble, but their fan base is kind of relentless on Twitter.
Is that Frank Haith? Frank Haith recruiting you?
No, that was Quinn, dude.
Quinn Snyder.
Oh, they
Right
got in
in the
trouble.
Quinn era.
Well, he
Quinn
said they got in
Snyder.
trouble, and that doesn't limit it for Missouri.
No, it sure doesn't. It doesn't narrow it down, but no. Yeah, I think it's going to be a heck of a game. Also, the net rankings kind of favor Utah State in this one, which I'm a big net ranking guy. I can't really figure it out, but I like them. So that's what I'm rolling with.
Gottlieb loves the net too. Don't worry.
I do too. I'm not really sure about the calculation either. I just feel like, yeah, okay, whatever. That's cool. You math guys, you do that deal.
Doug, go ahead.
I mean, I own a UConn staring you in the face.
You
Like
love
we
this.
talked about it. Like, huh?
You love this.
Iona's very good. Okay, they
You
have
got guards.
They have guards.
Yeah.
And the thing that UConn doesn't have is a point guard. They just don't. And you're going against in any conversation of the best tournament coach we've ever had. So yeah, that one jumps at you. And I'm a little concerned about St. Mary's. I've seen them several times this year. And I know they won some games in the non-conference early, but
I got them going down, Doug.
Yeah, I mean
You're the monster.
VCU is massively underseeded, I think. What happens is we get this thing where you're like, well, the A-10's down, so VCU, blah, 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 like, nah. And that's not a style or level of athleticism.
That's a great call.
That they play against all the time. Again, like, you got Logan Johnson, and then you got a freshman who's a stud in Aiden Mahaney, but and then you got Marcialonis' son off the bench, but he's kind of a mess. The rest of the guys are not ball handlers. They're big and kind of lumbering and are good players. I just think if they get out of rhythm, that can get bad. And really, they couldn't score against Gonzaga. Couldn't score in the WC. Everybody, the offense for Gonzaga was moving the ball and great, but Gonzaga didn't even shoot well. Strother didn't do anything. They could not score against Gonzaga. And I think VCU has the athleticism to play the same style, hard hedging defense. If you do that, you can beat St. Mary's. I think VCU will do it.
My favorite
Yeah.
first round matchup might be Miami Drake. Because
I was gonna
like
say
both
that I was getting ready to
Right?
head there.
I
got
love
Drake.
both, Val. Like, I want to pick both. I'm pissed off they're playing each other because I think Drake could make a Sweet 16, and I think Miami, with their guards and their experience, can also make a Sweet 16. So I almost think it sucks that they're pitted against each other. And Drake's one of the few teams that, out of those, what we call mid-major leagues, has a chance. They got guys that played in the tournament a couple years ago, and they added their best player, Tucker DeVries, the coach's son, who's really talented, long, skilled. I think this is a team that, honestly, it's funny because, like, I love Miami. So I don't know who to take in this one, but I'm just telling you, whoever wins that game, I wouldn't want to be Indiana if Indiana gets to them.
Well, can I talk about when you guys get to it? I want to talk about Indiana because I saw them.
I was gonna say Kent State's that game now.
Let's go.
Here's
Let's
the
go.
thing.
Go to Indiana, Kent State.
Here's the
Okay,
thing
so-
about that
so
one,
have
just
you-
storyline wise. Rob Senderoff was
Wait.
at Indiana.
Doug, let Val talk.
No, has he seen Ken? Have you seen
Let him
Ken?
talk.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to ask him a question.
All right.
Yeah, no, I've watched them a couple times. I watched the game yesterday intently just because I knew how close they were against Gonzaga. It was like, man, they're really good. And what's the guard, Sincere?
Yeah.
Sincere Carey.
Oh my
Sincere
goodness,
Carey.
he is
He's
a
a
dog.
dude. He's
He
a
is
dude.
dog.
Right. Yes.
And,
So-
and throw in, I just love the storyline of Rob Senderoff having been there at Indiana with having a little extra.
Yeah.
Jeff, like,
Oh, I know the story. I lived the story. I broke the story.
so there's going to be a lot of that locker room will be ready. It'll be a good game. It'll be a good game. I don't know if I can call the upset, but that's going to be a heck of a ball game.
Go ahead, Doug. Indiana.
Okay. First thing is, what if he played Indiana and then he played Houston against Kelvin,
Yeah.
who sold him down the river? Right? Oh man, that'd be amazing. Okay. So I've seen IU several times in person, and watching Penn State, it was like, oh, somebody finally figured him out. And you got to have guys to match up. Hood Schifino I love him. He plays. I don't even know if he sweats.
Yeah.
He's so cool and so chill out there, and he has incredible hands defensively when a guy goes up for a shot. But he's not really a 3-point shooter. Race Thompson can't shoot.
Nope.
And TJD is great, but he's great at kind of what he does, rolling off ball screens, catching on the move, facing up, going downhill. And there's just not the space oftentimes against the really well-coached teams. They're just really gapping them. Galloway is not really a shooter. Like, they only have two
But
guys.
Miller
that
Kopp
can score.
is. Miller Kopp is, and he doesn't shoot threes enough.
No, yesterday when in the loss, he turned down several. He takes these runners. He made a couple. I'm like, no, dude, shoot the three.
Yeah, just shoot it.
And
Just shoot it.
and late when they needed three, they didn't play him. What's the kid off the bench, the lefty?
Tamar
Former-
Bates.
Tamar Bates.
Huh?
Bates.
Tamar
Tamar
Bates.
Bates can shoot. Now he's going to shoot every time he gets it, but he can shoot it. But it's a weird team that I thought would be a little bit. I mean, granted, they don't have Xavier Johnson, so I think they're a completely different team if Hood Schifino can play off the ball some. But I'm a little concerned about Indiana, whereas I thought if you go back before the Iowa game after they beat Purdue, I was like, maybe they're going to make the Final Four. And now I'm really questioning, can they get by Kent? What it looks like going forward, because I thought Penn State did a great job of showing people the blueprint on how to beat them.
Yeah,
All right, Tyler.
they played a great game. But I do have that. I have Drake beat Miami, Jeff. I know you like Tyler, you're an ACC guy. Miami. I just think that defensively, Drake's better than what you think.
Yeah.
And they'll control the pace of the game. And it gets frustrating in the tournament if you play a certain way and teams slow you down a bit. Not that Drake plays slow, they don't. But I think they can control the pace of that one.
Yeah, no, listen, like I said, I think that's one. All right, here's one. You're going to think I'm crazy on this one. Watch that Colgate, Texas game. Just watch it. Just watch it. Because if Colgate starts getting out early and making shots, I just wonder whether this Texas team I know they've dealt with a lot and done a great job. Okay. But I worry about the other Marcus Carr coming out if that happens. And he starts to play a little hero ball instead of what he's done really well for most of this year, which is just play your game, play smart, play off the ball. And to me, they've been so connected as a group. I don't know. I don't know. Again, Colgate, man, they got shooters. They got size up front to kind of make it tough on Dylan Disu and Timmy Allen. That game is going to be fun. I'm telling you, that game is going to be a fun, close game. It might be a
question
scare.
for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Like you asked, what's the game we're looking forward to the most? I know the ups. These 8-9 matchups are I can't like, how you gonna pick Maryland, West Virginia? I can't pick.
No, I can't fill that one out.
I can't pick, or Kentucky, like the 6-11s and the 8-9s, like Providence, Kentucky. Flip a coin, because Providence is pissed off. They just lost like 3 straight games coming into the tournament.
Yes.
Kentucky could have a great Kentucky day, or they could have an average Kentucky day. Like, you just flip a coin on somebody. Iowa State's going to get Mississippi State or Pittsburgh coming out of that deal. That's going to be just a street fight. Nobody can score a point. I can't. So those 6-11, 8-9 matchups, like, I can't even fill out my bracket.